but when he begins to touch us and when he begins to speak to it, it's like the kiss of God on our heart. It's like this intimate touch from God that changes our life. And so we're welcoming and inviting God's presence to fill us in these meetings. That's got to be something as a leader that you want. If you don't want God's presence to fill your people, then these are the wrong kind of meetings to have, because he's going to come and he's going to begin to touch your people during these meetings. Uh, Here's something else that happens when out of the overflow, we begin to minister to those around us. We begin to touch, there are times during the meetings where we've ministered to the Lord, he's ministered to us, and then we minister to each other. You could see a kind of picture of this in John chapter 12 at the beginning of the chapter when Jesus was at a dinner given in his honor. Mary of Bethany comes because Jesus had raised her brother from the dead, and she takes an alabaster jar of perfume and she breaks it and she begins to pour it out over his feet and over his head, and she begins to minister to Jesus in a real powerful, intimate way. Well, what happens in the next chapter, in chapter 13, at the Last Supper, Jesus then begins to minister to all his disciples. And what does he do? He washes their feet. See that? Mary ministered to Jesus. Jesus turns around and ministers to the disciples. And then what does Jesus say? Minister to each other. Love one another. This is the great command that I give you, is that you love one another as I have loved you. You see, so it flows. First we minister to him. He ministers to us. And then out of that love, out of that overabundance, we begin to minister to each other.